Hello, boys and girls. I hope you had a wonderful weekend celebrating Mother's Day with your family. Here I have a picture of how I celebrated Mother's Day. I am holding a cake that is in the shape of a hydrangea bush. Hydrangea is the name of a flower. Isn't the cake beautiful? Today, I am going to show you how good readers stop and think about what they have just read. After reading 1 to 2 pages of a nonfiction book, it is a good idea to stop and think. We do this to make sure that we understood what we just read and to connect this new information to what we already know about the topic. So, why do we need to stop and think after we read 1 to 2 pages of a nonfiction book? Say it out loud. Yes, we do this so that we make sure that we understood what we just read on those 2 pages. And then we connect this new information to what we already know about what we are reading in this book. Good. Today I'm going to read from a book called Tide Pools. If you went on the virtual trip a few weeks ago, I had a video about tide pools. So if you saw that video, you already know a little bit about tide pools. So what I'm going to do with this book is I will show you how I read a page or two. Then I stop and I think about what I just read. I rephrase, and what rephrase means is to retell using my own words and the words from the text. I do this so that I remember what new facts I've just learned about the topic, which here is about tide pools. So I'm going to read these 2 pages about tide pools. I look at the picture and it shows the waves coming into the shore. Let me read. At high tide, the sea is at its highest level. Most of the shore is covered with water. As waves roll in, they may crash against the shore. So I can see here in the picture, don't forget to look at the picture and connect it with the words. I see that the waves are coming into the shore and I don't even see the beach. It's all covered with the seawater. Now, what did I just learn here? I read about high tide. And what did they tell me about the high tide? Let me see if I can rephrase it or say it using words from the text and my own words. So I'm going to read again. And now I can rephrase it using my own words. It tells me here, at high tide, the sea is at its highest level. Most of the shore is covered with water. That's when it's high tide. So I can say here, high tide is when the seawater comes onto the shore and most of the shore is covered with water. And that's how I rephrase what I learned here from looking at the picture and reading the words on the page. Good. So, did you see how I read a page or two? Then I stopped and I thought about what I just read. I rephrased or retold using my own words and words from the text. Good. Let's try one more. These are the next 2 pages. I'm going to read first. At low tide, the sea is at its lowest level. The waves don't reach as high on the shore. See, I can see the whole beach here now. The water is further out than it was at high tide. So the water has gone back, has receded, and now I can see the beach. So that's what low tide is. What did I just learn here? I learned about low tide. What is low tide? Let me see if I can rephrase it or say it using words from the text and my own words to make sure that I understood what I just read. So looking back here, it explains what low tide is. Good. Low tide is when the waves don't reach as high on the shore. So I looked here and I rephrase it using my own words. This is what you need to do when you read. You need to read a little bit and then you need to stop and think about what you just read. And then you should rephrase it and say it out loud, what you just read in your own words. So I read a page or two, then I stopped and I thought about what I just read. I rephrase or retold using my own words and words from the text. Now, you are going to try here, okay? Let's read the words first on the page, and then you are going to try to stop and think and retell to make sure that you understood what you read. At low tide, some water from the high tide gets left behind. The water stays in low spots. See, these are the low spots that the water got trapped here. These are called tide pools. So these are all the tide pools here. Good. Think a little bit about what we just read, and then you're going to retell. So you're going to give it a try. Read these 2 pages. We just read it. Now you're going to stop and think about what you just read. What is the main idea here? What are they talking about on these pages? Yes, the main idea is what are tide pools? Because at the end it tells you these are called tide pools. They just explain to you what tide pools are. Now, can you say the sentence? Can you retell using your own words and words from the page? Tide pools are... Go ahead, say it out loud. Yes, that's right. Tide pools are water from the high tide that gets left behind, and the water stays in the low spots. These are tide pools. Very good. So you just rephrase or you retold using the words from the text and your own words. So this is what you have to do today when you read in your own non-fiction books. So your assignment for today, I want you to go to file number 2 on Google Classroom, and I have the rest of this book for you in that file. Read the rest of this book about tide pools, and after you read 1 or 2 pages, you're going to stop and you're going to think about it, and then you're going to retell or rephrase. When you finish, pick a page to read aloud and rephrase. Have someone videotape you and turn that in as your assignment. That's your lesson for today. So now you go to file number 2.